Evolution does something weird that seems almost lazy at first. We see nature as a creative and inventive phenomenon, constantly coming up with new solutions to new problems we may face as humans. But when you look more closely and beneath the surface, you realize nature just keeps using the same designs over and over again. To start with, here's a discovery that shows you just how strange this challenge gets. Back in the 1800s, workers in Germany were digging through ancient Jurassic shale quarries and kept finding incredibly well-preserved fossils. These fossils were of marine reptiles called ichthyosaurs that lived over 180 million years ago. When scientists examined these fossils, they noticed something that didn't make any sense. These ancient reptiles looked almost exactly like modern dolphins. Same streamlined body, same fins, same crescent-shaped tail, even similar coloring with dark on top and light underneath. These reptiles were fast swimmers that breathed air and gave birth to live young in water, just like dolphins do. But what makes this bizarre is, ichthyosaurs and dolphins aren't related at all. Ichthyosaurs were reptiles, and dolphins are mammals. They are separated by 180 million years, with completely different ancestors too. Ichthyosaurs evolved from land reptiles that went back into the ocean, while dolphins evolved from land mammals that did the same thing much later. So how did two animals with totally different evolutionary backgrounds end up looking almost identical? The answer is straightforward once you think about it. When animals face the same environmental challenges, evolution produces similar solutions. In the end, it's not copying, since ichthyosaurs went extinct millions of years before dolphins existed, but it simply boils down to the laws of physics and biology forcing certain shapes when you're trying to be a fast-swimming predator in the ocean. And this phenomenon isn't limited to oceans only. Take the hummingbird hawk moth, for example. If you see one flying around flowers, you'd swear it was a tiny hummingbird because it hovers in front of flowers, uses its long proboscis for nectar, and makes similar humming sounds. It even visits the same flower types at the same times hummingbirds prefer, but it's a moth. Birds have feathers, bones, and different wing structures. Moths, on the other hand, have scales and exoskeletons and wings that work on different principles. Yet they have ended up popular for the same thing, hovering and humming around the same kinds of flowers. In Madagascar, there are small mammals called tenrecs, and some species look exactly like hedgehogs. Same size and shape, same defensive spines, same behavior of rolling into a ball when threatened, except they're not hedgehogs. Tenrecs are actually more closely related to elephants and manatees than to hedgehogs. They belong to a group that split off about 100 million years ago, but independently evolved the same spiny defense strategy from a completely different starting point. What makes Madagascar such an interesting territory to cover is that tenrecs over there diversified to fill all kinds of ecological roles. That is why some look like shrews, others resemble otters, and some are like moles. Evolution noticed vacant positions that other mammals would usually fill and just recreated those mammals using tenrecs as raw material. This pattern has shown up constantly over many millennia and continues to do so today. For instance, moving between trees without touching the ground is a problem lots of forest animals face. But in different parts of the world, unrelated animals came up with the same solution. Australia has flying phalangers, North America has flying squirrels, Southeast Asia has colugos, Africa has anomalures. None are closely related, but all develop skin membranes that stretch between limbs for gliding. The details may differ, but the basic solution is identical because gliding membranes are the most efficient way to solve that problem, given mammal anatomy constraints. Underground environments present an even more extreme case. When you live underground, you're dealing with complete darkness, limited oxygen, and soil-resisting movement in every direction. The physical constraints are so severe that there's really only one body plan that works. That's why moles evolved independently at least 3 separate times in different parts of the world. European moles, African golden moles, and Australian marsupial moles all have the same features, even though they're from totally different mammal groups. Cylindrical bodies that push through soil easily, massively reduced eyes since vision is useless underground, powerful digging legs positioned for maximum leverage, and enhanced ability to function with low oxygen. The underground environment is so demanding that evolution keeps producing the same solution whenever animals try to live there. But probably the strangest and most extreme example of this whole phenomenon is something scientists call carcinization. This is the tendency for various crustacean species to evolve into crab-like forms even when they didn't start as crabs. As a matter of fact, it has happened so many times that researchers joke that everything eventually wants to become a crab. Why does it keep happening, though? Apparently, the crab body plan is incredibly effective for certain environments. With that, any animal gets a stable body that's hard to flip over, good defensive capabilities with that hard shell and those claws, and efficient movement in rocky coastal areas. The design works so well that hermit crabs, king crabs, porcelain crabs, and various other crustaceans have all independently evolved to look like true crabs, even though they started from different body plans. Nature just keeps reinventing the crab over and over again. So what does all this actually tell us about how evolution works? For a long time, people thought evolution was basically random and unpredictable, that if you could somehow rewind the tape of life and play it again, you'd get completely different results every time. And maybe that's true in some ways, maybe the specific details would change, but these examples show that evolution isn't as unpredictable as we used to think it was. The laws of physics and chemistry don't change regardless of where or when you are. The constraints that environments place on living things stay consistent. And when life faces similar problems in similar environments, it tends to find similar solutions because there are only so many ways to effectively solve certain challenges. A fast-swimming ocean predator needs to be streamlined, whether it's a fish or a reptile or a mammal. A gliding animal needs membranes to catch air, whether it's in Australia or Asia or Africa. An underground animal needs a cylindrical body, whether it's in Europe or Australia. Basically, the problems dictate the solutions. This also has some pretty interesting implications when you think about it. For one, it suggests that certain aspects of life might be somewhat inevitable given the right conditions. The details will vary, of course, and the specific species will be different, but the general forms might keep showing up again and again, which leads to kind of a mind-bending question. If there is life on other planets, what might it look like? A lot of science fiction assumes aliens will be completely bizarre and unlike anything we've ever seen on Earth. And maybe that's true for intelligent life or for planets with totally different conditions than ours. But what if there's a planet out there with oceans and forests and similar gravity and atmospheric composition to Earth? Given what we know about convergent evolution and how consistently it produces similar forms, you might actually expect to see similar solutions to similar problems even on alien worlds. There might be something like dolphins swimming in alien oceans because that body plan works so well for that particular lifestyle and environment. There might be creatures gliding between alien trees using membranes because that's just the most effective way to move through forest canopies. There might be burrowing animals underground with cylindrical bodies because underground living demands that shape. And there would almost certainly be crabs. Or at least something very crab-like. Because apparently, given enough time and the right environmental conditions, evolution just really wants to make crabs no matter where you are. So even the universe might be more repetitive than we think. Not because evolution lacks creativity or imagination, but because the problems life faces are universal, and the number of truly effective solutions is actually pretty limited. Physics and chemistry work the same way everywhere in the universe. So maybe life, wherever it appears and whatever form it takes, keeps discovering the same basic answers to the same fundamental questions about how to survive and thrive in various environments. To be honest, that's either going to be reassuring or kind of boring, depending on how you look at it. On one hand, it means life might not be quite as wildly diverse as science. Fiction sometimes imagines. On the other hand, it suggests that life follows rules we can understand and predict to some degree. There are patterns, recurring themes, and certain forms that work better than others for specific challenges. Evolution is genuinely inventive and creative within those constraints, but the constraints themselves push life towards similar destinations again and again across millions of years and potentially across countless light years of space.